So many people live their entire lives climbing the wrong mountain. They run in circles, chasing a version of success handed to them by society, by their parents, by Instagram. A life measured in titles, trophies, and validation, never once stopping to ask themselves, is this even mine? They follow the crowd, ticking boxes, living by rules they never wrote, and chasing dreams they never chose. They become experts at blending in, while their true purpose remains buried beneath layers of expectations and noise. They're not living, they're performing. And in this never-ending race, they forget something vital. You weren't born to replicate someone else's journey. You were born to create your own. Here's the cold truth. 95% of people die without ever realizing their true power. They die full of ideas they never acted on, talents they never explored, dreams they abandoned to fit in, genius they never unlocked. Why? Because it's easier to follow than to lead yourself, because it takes courage to walk alone, because building your own path means leaving the comfort of the familiar. But here's the real question. Will you be one of them? Will you settle for a life that's safe, predictable, and unfulfilled? Or will you rise, break the pattern, and unlock the greatness that's been sleeping inside you? The world doesn't need more copies. It needs the real you, unapologetic, unfiltered, unstoppable, the version of you who stops chasing and starts becoming, because your genius isn't found at the top of someone else's ladder. It's found the moment you realize you were meant to build your own. Let's be brutally honest, life isn't about luck. It's not about wishing, hoping, or scrolling through motivational quotes waiting for a miracle. Life rewards competence. It rewards those who know exactly what they're capable of and who show up every single day to sharpen that capability into mastery. We live in a world that glorifies the end result: success, wealth, recognition. But what most people never see is the invisible grind beneath it all, the discipline, the failure, the obsession with getting better, not for applause, but for personal excellence. The truth? Most people will never live in alignment with their true genius. Not because they're not capable, but because they're too distracted by the noise. They spend their days comparing, doubting, overthinking, worried about who's ahead, who's watching, and how to win a race they were never meant to run in the first place. Instead of turning inward and asking, what can I master? They chase fleeting goals with shallow roots. They keep tweaking their desires, changing what they want based on trends and pressure, but they never tweak their competence. And that's the disconnect. We want to win. We want the fruit, but we haven't planted the seed. We haven't broken the ground, watered the roots, and stood through the seasons of slow, thankless growth. We're hungry for success, but starved for discipline. Understand this. If you're not developing your own competence day in and day out, you're building castles in the sky, empty goals, hollow dreams, a chase with no finish line. But when you focus on mastery, when you show up not just to dream, but to build, that's when success stops being something you chase and starts becoming something you attract, because the world doesn't respond to noise. It responds to skill, to excellence, to unshakable competence. So the question isn't, do you want it? The real question is, are you becoming someone who deserves it? Here's the truth most people never want to admit. No one wins just because they want to. Desire isn't rare. Everyone wants to win. Everyone wants success, recognition, greatness. But desire alone doesn't separate the elite from the average. Only competence does. Victory doesn't go to the loudest dreamer. It goes to the one who built the skill, mastered the craft, sharpened the edge so precisely that winning became inevitable, not optional. Yet far too often, people try to outpace others before they've even mastered their own stride. They push, they hustle, they chase someone else's rhythm, someone else's pace, believing that speed equals success. But here's what they don't realize. When you force yourself beyond your level of readiness, you don't grow, you break. You don't sharpen your edge, you dull it with stress, burnout, and chaos. And what does that kind of stress create? Incompetence. Not because you lack talent, but because you're misusing your energy. Stress pulls you away from your zone of genius. It clouds your thinking, disrupts your focus, and sabotages your performance. It takes you further from your best self, not closer. Now pause. Think of a machine. Every high-functioning machine on Earth, whether it's a rocket engine or a wristwatch, performs best when there's minimal friction. Friction grinds. It overheats. It wears things down. You are no different. You are the most advanced machine on this planet. But you can't operate at peak performance if you're fighting resistance that doesn't belong to you, if you're trying to force results in a space where you haven't yet built fluency. The key isn't just to try harder. The key is to remove the friction, to find where you're wasting energy. On comparison, fear, ego, and force, and eliminate it. Then turn that energy inward, sharpen your competence, refine your strengths. Develop the skills that align with your natural design, and let mastery speak louder than struggle ever could, because the truth is simple. You don't have to chase greatness when you become the kind of person who radiates it. This doesn't mean the road will be smooth. You will face challenges, you will fall, you will doubt, and you will have moments where the pressure feels unbearable. But here's the difference. When your life is built on competence, not just desire, you don't break, you rise. You move through challenges with clarity, not confusion. You respond with strength, not panic. You act with purpose, not desperation. Because competence gives you the one thing most people never find: inner stability in a world that never stops shaking. But here's where so many get lost. Most people don't even know what their competence is. They've spent so long trying to be what the world wants them to be, trying to fit into a mold that was never made for them, that they've forgotten what makes them powerful in the first place. They chase careers, titles, and lifestyles they were never meant to live because society handed them a narrow blueprint and said, "This is what success looks like." But that's a lie. True success isn't one size fits all. It's not about playing someone else's game or winning by someone else's rules. It's about discovering what you are uniquely built for, that rare combination of your strengths, your passion, your experiences, and your voice. That's your genius. And when you tap into that, when you stop chasing approval and start creating from authenticity, that's when life starts to align. That's when work becomes meaningful. That's when struggle becomes growth. That's when each day begins to feel like purpose, not pressure. Because the most powerful life you can live is not one that looks good from the outside. It's one that feels right on the inside. So stop looking around. Start looking within, because your true competence has been waiting for you to find it. And when you do, that's when you'll finally start living the life you were born to lead. Here's the saddest truth you'll rarely hear spoken out loud. 95% of people will live their entire lives and die without ever touching the edge of their true potential, not because they weren't capable, not because they weren't intelligent, but because they were too busy trying to copy someone else's success. They mold themselves into shapes that don't fit, chasing dreams that were never theirs, trying to live lives that belong to someone else, and in doing so, they silence the one thing the world actually needed from them: their genius, their originality, their fire. This is the greatest tragedy. This is the real crime against humanity. The stifling of human genius, not by governments, not by institutions, but by fear, comparison, and self-abandonment. But you don't have to be part of the 95%. You can wake up. You can break the pattern. You can stop trying to outshine others and start learning how to shine as you are. Because here's the truth. You don't have to become someone else to be extraordinary. You already carry within you a unique blueprint one the world has never seen before and will never see again. Your job isn't to compare, mimic, or compete. Your job is to discover, develop, and deliver your genius. Stop looking sideways. Stop measuring your worth with someone else's ruler. You are enough. You are capable. You are worthy not when you outperform others, but when you become who you are always meant to be. Your journey is not a race. It's a canvas. Paint it with your truth, build it with your strengths, live it with authenticity, and one day you'll realize you didn't have to follow anyone. Because you were born to lead your own path. So how do you actually get started? It all begins with one word: competence. Stop chasing what you wish you could do. Stop comparing yourself to what others are doing. Your power lies in focusing on what you can do and then doing it better than anyone else. Master your craft. Hone your skills with relentless dedication. Pursue excellence not for applause, but because it becomes who you are. When you build this kind of competence, something amazing happens. Stress melts away. The weight of comparison lifts. You stop feeling the pressure to prove yourself, because you are busy creating something uniquely yours. Now imagine this. Every single person on this planet has been given a unique gift, a talent. A genius that no one else has, a spark waiting to be fanned into a roaring flame. But most people never discover their genius. Why? Because they spend their lives walking someone else's path, following a map that was never meant for them. Here's the key to unlocking your greatness. Your true potential does not lie in following someone else's footsteps. It lies in blazing your own trail, creating your own path where none existed before. And that journey, your journey starts by developing the competence to navigate it, by becoming so skilled, so confident, and so committed that the path reveals itself with every step you take. This is your moment. Stop looking sideways. Focus on your craft. Build your competence. And watch as your greatness unfolds, not because you're trying to be someone else, but because you're becoming the best version of you. You don't have to be the best at everything. That's a myth society loves to sell. What truly matters is this: be the best version of yourself. Competence real. Authentic competence is what sets you apart from the crowd. It's the quiet power that makes you stand out, not just in your career, but in every part of your life, in your relationships, in your health, in your passions. Competence brings something invaluable: fulfillment. It's what transforms ordinary effort into extraordinary results. But here's the catch. Competence isn't given, it's earned. It grows only when you focus on what you can do and commit to building on it every single day. And remember, you don't have to do this alone. Seek out mentors who have walked the path before you. Find the resources that sharpen your skills. Surround yourself with a support system that lifts you up when the road gets tough. But above all, the most important step is this: start now. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. Stop searching for some ideal opportunity that may never come. The only perfect moment is the one you create right here, right now. Begin today. Start working on your competence. Plant the seeds of your growth with intention, because when you do, the rest will follow naturally. Success, confidence, and fulfillment don't chase you, they catch you when you're busy becoming unstoppable. When you focus on competence, something incredible happens. Stress begins to melt away. You stop wasting energy worrying about what others think or trying to fit into someone else's mold. Instead, you start living with purpose, clear, focused, unshakable purpose. Your life begins to transform. You start attracting the success you once only dreamed of, not because you chased it desperately, but because you built the competence to deserve it, to earn it, to hold it. If you're tired of the endless cycle of stress, comparison, and chasing after other people's definitions of success, it's time to take control of your life today. Focus on what you can do, improve it relentlessly. Show the world the unique genius that only you possess. Your gifts aren't hidden. They're waiting to be realized, to be shared, to change everything. And if you want to unlock your full potential, if you want to live a life rooted in true competence and deep purpose, then join us at Win Wisdom. Subscribe now and don't miss out on powerful insights, motivation, and guidance that will help you break free from stress and step into the life you're always meant to live. Your greatness isn't coming, it's already here. It's waiting for you to claim it.